items 1 and 2 together. The big item is the item on Mr. Nahai, and I guess we're waiting for Mr. Raj to arrive, so I will try to stall as long as we can, but we're going to go pretty quickly. So, items 1 and 2.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Item number 2 is a report from the City Attorney and ordinance relative to amendment of the municipal code relating to trash chutes and recycling chutes. We have staff from Planning and the City Attorney's Office.
Who's here from the City Attorney's Office? Is there anybody here from the City Attorney's Office on item 1 and 2? Okay.
Alan Bell, Senior Planner, Department of City Planning.
Okay.
This is an ordinance concerning recycling chutes that was presented to the City Planning Commission on February 14th, 2008. They adopted it, the Planning and Land Use Management Committee adopted it on February 3rd. It's an ordinance that supports our green building initiatives, and what the ordinance does in summary is it requires when new development projects, which are any projects that require that will result in the collection or the loading of solid waste, that if they are going to be installing a trash chute, they must also install alongside it a recycling chute, and the recycling chute must be clearly identified as saying recyclables only. The development projects that this would apply to are all new commercial and multifamily development in the city, multifamily development of 4 or more units. It would also apply to existing projects that are undergoing major expansion. For example, if a multifamily unit is expanding by 25% or more floor area, they would also have to comply with this requirement. And then any other commercial project that is expanding by 30% or more in floor area would also have to comply with this requirement. It's an important component of the city's need to divert waste from landfills and to support our green energy goals.
Okay, great. We're taking 1 and 2 together.
Yes.
Let's see, we don't have any cards on that item. All right, and this is a note and file item?
Item number 2 is a note and file and recommend approval for item number 1, which is the ordinance.
Kind of form stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, great, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Move it forward. I guess we don't need the city attorney at this point.
No,
Really?
the city attorney approved the ordinance as to form and legality, and the director of planning did a sign-off, and we
Great.
approved it in
Great.
conformance with the City Planning Commission's last action.
All right.
This item was also approved by the Plum Committee as well.
Yes.
So,
All right, and I want to make a correction on what I said earlier. Today's date is November the 24th. We began the meeting at about 9:05 a.m.
okay.
All right, next item is 3.
Number 3, report from the City Attorney, Bureau of Sanitation, relative to amendment of the admin code to authorize deposit of proceeds from the sale of recyclables generated from city facilities. We have staff from sanitation.
Good morning.
Good morning. Karen Koga, Bureau of Sanitation. This is a relatively simple administrative item. There was a special fund set up for the city facilities recycling program to take 50% of the revenue that they received from the recyclables that were gathered. As you know, the city facilities recycling program was absorbed into sanitation beginning of last fiscal year. We've also changed over to a blue bin system for all of the city facilities. Therefore, all the recyclables are going to the same material recovery facilities that our curbside blue bin material goes to. It saves us a lot in having to do contracting and other things. So,
How much new money will the fund receive this year?
oh well, the estimate is less than $20,000. In fiscal year 08-09, this fund only received $23,000, so it's a relatively small amount of revenue. This revenue is used for outreach to city employees, since it is from city employee recycling, and to buy containers and other things for city employee recycling.
All right. Is this a note and file item?
Actually, it's a recommended approval
Okay.
of the ordinance.
Recommend approval.
Okay. That's good.
Item 4.
Thank
Item 4, DWP to report relative to access issues associated with a Crowder Lake Fish Camp. As you may recall, this issue came up during public comment on October 20th. Mr. Matsui and Mr.
Right.
Conway. Okay.
Morning, Madam
So-
Chair.
Do you want to start from the top, or do you want me to just go into the questions?
I've got a kind of a status update, or I can answer questions, however you want to do it.
Go to the staff.
Okay, my name is Jim McDaniel. I'm the Senior Assistant General Manager for the water system. I do want to apologize for the prolonged response to Mr. Conaway's concern that he did bring to your committee. Following several conversations with him, we have launched a second investigation. It was determined by me and the division director that the people that had been looking into this incident were too closely associated because they work with the operator on a day-to-day basis. So we've asked for independent investigation to be done, and that is nearly complete, and a report will be issued. I wanted to assure that the investigation treats both sides equitably and affords both sides an opportunity to tell the story. So that's why we're taking a little extra time with this. We have followed up and are not aware of any actions or statements that have been made to prohibit Mr. Conaway or Mr. Matsui from utilizing the marina this summer. And we have directed the existing vendor to send a letter to Mr. Matsui and Mr. Conaway affirming that there was a misunderstanding and that they are welcome at any time to use the lake, rent a slip, or utilize the facilities as they would be afforded to any other member of the public. The status of the RFP, it was determined by your committee that the RFP was flawed. We've rewritten the document and are about ready to send it out again. We are investigating the possibility, though, realizing that this is a for-profit business opportunity and the city's in need of funds, to see whether the Department of Recreation and Parks may be interested in running this concession as they have in the past. We're in those discussions, and we expect to...
Submit a response to the RFP?
What's that?
They would respond to the RFP.
We could do it that way?
I think that's the way you're supposed to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to compete with everyone else.
If that's the desire of the
Well, you may want to
committee.
check with your lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, will do. We expect to meet with them by the end of this year, and if they're not interested in doing it, we will issue the RFP shortly after the new year.
Okay. All right. So, just for determination, did Mr. Garrett deny Mr. Conaway access to the department's facility based on your findings?
Well, the report is not complete yet. I think one side of the story certainly indicates that. I want to get both sides of the story, and that's what will come out in the final report.
All right, well, then why don't we have you come, you think you can get the final report done by the next meeting?
When would the next meeting be?
It's December 9th is what we're looking at.
Okay, I'll have to check with our investigators and
All
see
right,
where they're
why
at
don't
on
we,
that.
and then that's the last one for the year?
No, there'll be another one we plan December 16th.
We're going to try to get another one in. We may
Why don't we
not.
go for December the 16th?
Let me see what I can do with that.
See what you have,
Okay,
okay? All right.
thank you.
Item 5.
Item number 5, report from DWP relative to proposed First Amendment to agreement with Fuentes McNally to provide legal representation in the matter of Miranda versus DWP. Staff from CAO and the City Attorney's Office. No, okay.
Good morning. I'm Marilee Brown with the Department of Water and Power, Employee Services. I'm here regarding requesting approval of the First Amendment to Agreement Number 47569 with Fuentes and McNally for outside conflict counsel. This is a continuation of a case that we currently have in progress. Initially, the city attorney determined a conflict of interest existed, which led to obtaining the outside counsel. The original startup amount of this case was $150,000, and that was to evaluate the case, render initial findings, see validity of the case, and possible dismissal or settlement. The case has been continued numerous times throughout this period, beginning May of '07, due to the plaintiff's many motions that have been filed. It's been determined that the outside counsel will not be able to dismiss this plaintiff in this case, and we're requesting the additional time and money to continue with the case through the trial, through litigation trial.
Is the money, has money been set aside in your budget
Yes,
for this?
correct.
And do you anticipate coming back for more money after that?
We don't anticipate coming back. I've been in close contact with the attorney on this case, and he's provided a budget, and I don't anticipate we'll be coming back for additional money. Should we come back, we'll do it in a timely manner.
Okay, all right. I don't have any further questions on it this time,
Okay.
so.
Recommend approval?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're recommending that retroactive to the October 31st date.
I believe that's part of the report.
Okay,
as
great.
stated,
Thank you.
so. Okay. Madam Chair, if you like, you could take items 7 and 8,
Together.
and they're both closed session items. Relate to eminent domain. Okay. Okay. No,
Go ahead. Edmund.
go into closed session?
Yeah. We have to go to closed session.
Whoever is not here for this item has to.
The committee will go into closed session pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, Sub A and B, pending litigation to meet with City Attorney Counsel.
Clear the room. Have that understanding that he is working, and that you can demonstrate that to us. Okay?
We'll make sure we get all the reports.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So holding in committee. Okay, now, Mr. Clyde Williams, come on up.
Is this for item 6 or
Yeah.
public comment? Okay.
No, you know what? You can do both.
I know.
Okay. You know what? Just roll with it.
Okay. For item 6, I would highly recommend an amendment. I like the amendment that you were proposing. Let's put a cap on $1,000 a day. But anyway, 2 additions. One, that you extend it to the interim general manager. Same conditions. Because we have a cowboy. He's not from Texas. He's not from Oklahoma. He's not from Kansas. He's from Georgia.
Cowboy hat on today.
Hmm?
You have a cowboy hat on today.
What?
Don't you have a cowboy hat on today?
I have my cowboy hat, but I also come from Kansas.
Okay.
It's actually my father's cowboy hat.
Okay, that's
So it's
fair.
over 50 years
Fair enough,
old.
fair enough.
And he was from Oklahoma and a cowboy. So extend the same conditions to the interim manager because we have an issue. Neighborhood councils and the MOU participants were invited on Saturday to a meeting to discuss the budget. However, it came up to just a Q&A with the interim manager, who spent an hour and a half talking, as he does, without giving any information. And in fact, I've come up with a new term for him, the Teflon cowboy. Nothing sticks. So I'm quite concerned. 20 some odd people came to DWP to find out what was going on. We were given the August version of ECAF with a proviso that it's going to be modified on December 1. So we're kind of concerned about what's going on within the general manager's office. We don't know what's going on. We get a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of snow jobs, bait and switch and such like that, but we're talking about real money here, ECAF.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend that you take the same conditions that you provide for the outgoing general manager and apply them to the interim general manager. We would also highly appreciate an amendment to this that would include the MOU Oversight Committee in the selection of the new general manager. Because we had one before that bait and switch. We have one right now that is doing a wonderful snow job. He's a very good administrator, and he survived both Nixon and Carter.
Who's that? Nixon and Carter?
He was with both Nixon and Carter, an advisor. He knows the
Advised
roots.
Nixon?
Hmm?
He
Richard Milhouse Nixon.
Wow.
So, does that give me concerns? Yes. He is about 13 years my senior, so half a
So you
generation.
look up to him then? So you look up to him then?
I look up to him, you bet. And when I go down to Bay City, Texas, where he was for 4 years, I guess that's where he got his cowboy hat.
I see.
My sister's been there for 30. So I'd highly recommend, one, amendment to include the interim manager in this with the same conditions, and also add that the neighborhood councils through the MOU committee be represented on the selection of the new general manager. That's enough.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Okay, that was everything. You got it all out?
Yep. No.
No, yeah, I got it. So, any other public comment? Public comment going once, going twice, going 3 times? Meeting is adjourned? Thank you.
Very good.